Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is your man, Coach Toby J. Come on up in the room. For those of you who are going to join me tonight, for those of you who's going to go back and watch this on the replay, hey, remember, YouTube, I want you to go over to YouTube and subscribe at CHANGEMAKER'S Playbook with your man, Coach Toby J. That's where all of the lives have been posted up to this point. Remember, Facebook Live, if you watch it on Facebook Live, you go back and watch the old ones, they're probably gone. They stay on Facebook Live for 30 days, but on YouTube, they are on there for life until I remove them. So definitely go over to the YouTube, subscribe at Changemaker Playbook, your man, Coach Toby J. And listen, I appreciate all of you that's going to tune in tonight, that's going to go back and watch this. I really do appreciate you for your support. Tonight is going to be different. Tonight, I am going to really come from the heart. And the reason why I'm just going to kind of come from the heart tonight is in July, which is actually next Wednesday, right? July 1st. I'm going to do a month, really just not the full month, but there's 4 Wednesdays in July that I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to have some people come on. The room is going to get bigger. So it's not just going to be me. That's why I'm calling it. The room is getting bigger. So I'm going to have 4 guests that's going to come on in July that I see as change makers. And some of these people you may know, some of you are not going to know, but their story is going to really be beneficial to you and really be something that could, that could challenge you. You can learn from it. You can grow from it. It can catapult you to the next level of your life. So in July, that's where we're going. The July series, I'm going to do these every now and then. And I don't know what month I'm going to do them in. I'm just, whenever I feel like doing them, I'm going to have guests come on here with me on the Changemaker Playbook live edition. Now tonight, this is what I would do, man. If you're somebody who's needing some encouragement, tonight's the night. If you know someone who needs some encouragement, tonight's the night. I want you to share this with them, tag them, and say, hey, you need to tune in, or you need to go back and watch this particular episode from the heart with Coach Toby J, because I really do believe that tonight, yeah, I got something for you. I'm going to share my story, a little bit of my story, here a little bit as far as my high school story that I really think is going to assist you. Now, listen, I ain't even gonna front. I'm coming from the heart. I got some stuff on my phone that I put down leading up to this, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you tonight. This is not scripted. It's a little bit of notes, but I read something that I'm going to share. Let me take this down. Let me take myself down here. Notice what this says. They're judging because you keep starting over. I'm clapping because you aren't giving up. They're judging because you keep starting over, but I'm clapping because you aren't giving up. And that's what I want to do to all of those that are watching this. And then you keep moving forward. You keep striving. You don't give up. I'm here to clap for you. Even if you find yourself giving up, starting over. Listen, I've started over so many times, especially when it comes to doing what I'm doing tonight. I've started over so many times when it comes to this. But one thing I will say, I haven't gave up. And so to you who keep starting over and over, that's fine. Just don't give up. And I guarantee you, continue to follow me. Continue to listen to me, because I'm going to share with you my story on how I gave up and why I gave up on certain things, why I keep starting over. And that's one of the reasons why I'm super excited about this live that I'm doing, these lives that I'm doing, because this was the first day. I'm gonna keep it real with you. This was the first day where I was like, do I want to do this? You know, normally when I've done my podcast and all those things, it's been every other week, every 2 weeks, one a month. But I've been doing these consistently now for the last 6 weeks on a Wednesday night. And I am super excited about the fact that I have been consistent in this particular area of producing this content for you and coming on here every Wednesday night. Because like I said on the last live, I said one of my issues, one of my inconsistencies, well, the reason why I was inconsistent, a lot of it had to do with approval. You know, like you start something, you know, you may start something and then all of a sudden you stop. You're inconsistent at what it is you're doing because you're looking for some type of likes, numbers, approval, things of that nature. And as a result, you start, you stop, you start, you stop because you're allowing validation, things of that nature to be your compass, right? To be your compass. And so as I continue to do this, I want you to see my journey doing these lives. I want you to see this journey as, you know, growth. I want you to see this as part of my growth as far as coming on here and doing these things on a weekly basis. And I appreciate those who actually support. Let me ask you this. I got some notes here. And this may be a crazy question, but have you ever failed at something before? Have you ever just failed at something before? Have you ever just made a mistake? Have you ever just, you know, been rejected? You know, I'm gonna ask this question. If you've ever had a failure in your life, a mistake in your life, a rejection in your life, and you may be in that place right now where you're dealing with failures, you're dealing with mistakes, you're dealing with rejections. You know, a lot of fathers, you know, Father's Day just passed, and sometimes Father's Day is not good for some fathers, you know what I'm saying? Because the lack thereof, or, you know, maybe you just was not that person that father that you wanted to really be. And so there's this feeling that comes along with rejection, rejections, failures, disappointments, mistakes, things of that nature. Now, let me ask you this. If you're in that place right now in your life where you're dealing with things like a failure or mistake, let me ask you this question. What did this failure teach you that success would have hidden from you? That's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about, what does this failure or this rejection or this mistake teach me that success would have hidden from me? I want you to really think about that. Failures, man, and rejections also, there's emotions that are tied to those things as well, right? You know, you're angry, you're bitter, resentment, hurt, disappointments, like all of these emotions that also come along with rejections and failures and mistakes, and disappointments. All of these things, there are some emotions that are attached to it. And it's interesting, like when you make a mistake, you fail at something, or there's a rejection, think about how long you really think about that stuff. Think about how long that stays in your mind. Versus like when you do something positive in life, you do something positive, but it don't stay in your mind that long. But think about how long you really sit there and allow rejections, failures, this fester in your life. It just builds a nest right in your head, and you're just sitting there thinking it over and over and over. And what happens is the emotions that are connected to those rejections, to those failures, you know, to those disappointments, those emotions also fester on the inside of you. So if there's hurt connected to that, then guess what? You're constantly hurt. If there's some pain or frustration or anger or bitterness or resentment, all those things, if all those things are connected to that failure or that mistake, you allow those things, man, to just sit and fester in your life. And if you're not careful, you become known by those emotions. You're just bitter, you're just angry all the time. You know, every time I talk to them, they're angry. Every time, I'm hitting my camera. But every time I talk to them, they seem angry, right? And so you got to figure out a way to, like, how do I overcome this? And one of the things I learned in my life, this is just me, I'm only talking for myself, is I had to learn how to start the belief stream flow over in my life. You know, like the belief stream flow over in my life. And what do I mean? Like, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? How many times have we been like, man, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? It seems like every time I do something, something's happening to me. I take 2 steps and I take 10 steps back. 1 step forward, 10 steps back. Like, why does it seem like life, negative things are always happening to me? And so one thing I've learned in my life, instead of just sitting there asking, why me? I had to change that to why not me? This is how I start the belief stream flow back up in my life. Instead of saying, why me? I start saying, well, why not me? See, a why not me mindset does the following. It embraces adversity as part of the human experience. I want you to understand that. A why not me mindset, it embraces adversity as part of the human experience. So instead of viewing adversity as unjust punishment, okay, you view it as the opportunity to grow, learn, and for personal development. So instead of this seeing adversity and saying, why me? Why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen to me? No, why? It's always happening to me. Start the belief stream flow back in your life and start asking, why not me? Why not me? You know, why not me be the one that can go out here and, you know, really be a change maker? Why not me be the one that go out here and start a business? Why not me be the one to go out here and maybe do a great podcast? Why not me go out here and write this song? Why not me be the one for this spot, for this position? Why not me be the change maker that I'm called to be? Why not me be the one to have an answer for some of the issues that we have going on in our world? Why not me? You know? But see, what happens when failure kicks in or mistakes and failures and rejection happens in your life, if you're not careful, you start doubting yourself, right? You start doubting your ability to actually be an asset to somebody, to be an asset in the world. You start seeing yourself as a liability more than you see yourself as an asset. And so, you know, I grew up, for those of you who watch this from East Tennessee, Johnson City, listen, I asked myself that question one time when I was in high school. I'm going to go all the way back. See, understand, you remember Jesus when they said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? When they found out that Jesus was from Nazareth, they asked the question, hey, we found the Messiah. And they asked the question, well, where's he from? Nazareth. Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? I want you to ask yourself that question. Are you somewhere, or are you in a situation where people doubt you or question you because of maybe your location, maybe because of your position, maybe because of the family that you come from, your economic status, where you live, side of town you live on? You know what? Can any good thing come out of the hood? Can any good thing? See, I came from East Tennessee. I'm from East Tennessee, where if I was to be completely honest with you, when it comes to, you know, black people in East Tennessee, it's not that many. It might be 8%, maybe 7-8% now, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like a lot of African Americans or black people in Upper East Tennessee. You have to start going more towards like Knoxville area, things like that. You know, once you start traveling more central, then you start seeing a lot of black people. You know what I mean? But I grew up in the eastern part of Tennessee, where it wasn't really a lot of us. And when it came to sports, okay, so I was an athlete. Okay, I was an athlete. Now, I'm not here to toot my horn tonight. I'm just want to share something with you. I can hit my camera. But I was an athlete, and I played football, I ran track, and I played a little bit of basketball. Okay, just a little bit of basketball. But it was the basketball that really opened my eyes, okay? Now, if you only know the makeup of Tennessee from an athletic standpoint, a lot of times everything from like central Tennessee, the western part of Tennessee, you can look at the Chattanooga area, maybe some Knoxville area, but that's where most people will go and look for the talent in Tennessee. They're not really looking at the upper East Tennessee part. It's maybe a few people up there that they go and scout and look at and take seriously, but to be honest with you, yeah, if in Tennessee it was from Knoxville, really Chat, all the way from central to the western part. So like the disrespect that a lot of times we might get in upper East Tennessee when it came to sports was big, okay, in the state of Tennessee. And probably in the 90s, our basketball team at Science Hill was off the chain. They was just good. You know what I'm saying? They ranked nationally, literally ranked top 5 nationally. I'm sure people was like, who's Science Hill? And they looked at the USA Today high school polls, like, who is he? Who is this? Who are these people? But they was good. You see what I'm saying? We was really good in basketball. Basketball is what put, more likely, from an athletic standpoint, our high school on the map. Okay, literally. In the 90s, we was winning state titles. As a matter of fact, in 1990, this is a story I want to tell you. In 1990, we won the state in basketball. And then in 91, I was on the team in 91. That was my sophomore year. I didn't really play that much. You know, I played during the season. I didn't play during the state tournament. You know, I was brought up off the, like they called a JV team at the time. And so we lost the state in 91 by maybe 1 or 2 points. And we could have went back to back, but we didn't. And I'll never forget. We went into that locker room, man. People was tore up, crying. I was one of the people in there crying too. I was crying, though I was crying. I was hurt. I was feeling for the people who was busting their butts out there, gave all that effort, you know. And we lost by like 1 or 2 points. Oh, sometimes you rather get beat bad than that close. But I remember crying. I remember one of my friends came up to me and said, "Toby, man, why are you crying?" I was like, "What you mean, man? You know?" They said, "You didn't play." They told me, "You didn't even play. Why are you crying?" And I was like, we got a point. He got a like serious point when he said that I didn't even play. And it was at that moment where I start thinking to myself, why not me? You know what? Why? First of all, why am I wasting my time out here doing something that is really not in alignment with my goal and my purpose? You know, just to be on the basketball team, but it's not really in alignment with what it is I want to do. You know, our basketball team winning state titles, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why not me? Why not? Why can't I? In track, I ran the 100, I ran the 200. Why can't I be the fastest person in the state of Tennessee from East Tennessee? Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? That's what I'm talking about right there. I don't know where you at in your life. Are you the one that's out, you know, are you the one that they're counting off? You know, they counted you off. You're out in the fields like David tending the sheep, and the man come to anoint the brothers. And the oil, you remember that story? And the oil didn't flow. And he was like, wait a minute, is there one other person that's not in the house? Oh, yeah, he's out there, but not David. He's not the one for this anointing. He's not the one for the job. And so they went and got David, and guess what? That oil flowed. Who knows? Come on. Like Esther, if you've been called into the kingdom for such a time as this, why not you? And I remember, man, that summer, track, I remember, man, I had never been that focused in probably my life when it came to like track. And I told myself, you know, I'm going to work on this thing. I'm really going to put myself in the position to where I can at least give myself the opportunity to win the state, right? So fall comes around, I play football. Football was in alignment with what I was trying to do. But then after football season was over with, really during football season, because, you know, basketball season runs kind of toward the beginning of basketball season tends to run right towards the end of football season, right? And I remember telling basketball coach I wasn't gonna play, and they looked at me like, "What? You're not gonna what? You're not gonna play?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not. I'm not playing this year. I'm just not gonna play basketball this year because now this at this time this is my junior year. I'm not gonna play basketball this year simply because I got other plans. This is not in alignment with what it is I'm trying to achieve, and so I stopped playing basketball. Man, the way them coaches looked at me at the time was like I was crazy." Bruh, just like my boy said, we just lost the state title in the spring, my sophomore year. I was on the team, but like you said, why are you crying? You didn't even play. Right, I didn't even play. I'm wasting my time. I could be this all this time that I'm using to come out here for basketball, I could be channeling this energy and all of this growth towards something else more productive. And so there's times when you're going after things in your life, you got to prioritize some stuff. You got to just prioritize it. Sometimes you got some things you just got to let go. And so football season comes around, a great football year, but then here comes track season. Well, why not me? Here comes track season. And I had one of the best track seasons I've ever had. I remember going to the Vol Classic. The Vol Classic is like, it's people from Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, the southeast portion of the United States. And, I'm running against these guys. And I'm from Upper East Tennessee. Can any good thing come out of that? There's no way nobody from Upper East Tennessee coming to something like this, an event like this, and winning. Well, that's all I'm going to say. Why not? I had a why not me mindset going on in my life. I was in a place of growth. I was in a place of learning. I was in a place of personal development. And so I remember going to the state that year, my junior year. Now understand, I went to the state 4 years. All 4 years of my, I was in high school. My freshman year, I came in second. My sophomore year, I came in third because I just had a bad start. But then my junior year comes rolling around, and here I go. I'm going to Nashville. I'll never forget, man. It was packed down there, and I'll never forget when the chatter, you got these boys coming from Memphis. You got these boys coming from Nashville areas, all these big names. And, the chatter was going on. But the chatter around me was when they went to see the lane assignments and the time posted for the season, the PRs for the season, they saw my name at the top. And they was like, ain't no way somebody from St. Cecile, Upper East Tennessee running those type times. They win 80. Something. There's no way that somebody from Upper East Tennessee, from Nazareth, hear what I'm telling you? Running those times. Well, those who know my junior year, I won the state in the 100. Why not me? And that's my encouragement to you tonight is, listen, do not give up on you. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the dream that you have because lack of support or because you're not seeing numbers or you're not seeing the people you thought was going to, support you and be there for you and clap for you and pat you on your back and all those things. You don't start it 3 or 4 times over, but you keep going. Listen, why not you? Why not you? Why not you be the one that defies all odds, man? When they thought it couldn't happen, you believe in what God, hear me, what God gifted you with, what God created you with, what God equipped you with. And you use that gifting and you use those abilities, man, to do something good in your life, to impact people's life, to impact your own life. You see what I'm saying? So stop asking why me all the time and start saying, no longer why me, no longer. And just start asking, why not me? Why not now? And why not through this? You got this, man. You can do this no matter where you are in your life. And just understand that disappointments, hurts, mistakes, rejections, failures, adversity, all that's adversity is a part of the human experience. You're going to come up against those things at some point in your life. And the question is, are you going to see them as unjust punishment, as if you're getting punished for something, or are you going to see it for the opportunity to grow, learn, and for personal development? And when you see adversity that way, and you're saying to yourself, why not me? Why can't I be this change maker? There's some things you're just going to have to prioritize. Prioritize relationships. Prioritize what you do on a daily basis. Prioritize habits. You got to prioritize your time. You got to manage all those things. But you can do it. I believe you can do it. I believe you can have a bounce back from failure in your life. I believe in the resilient factor in you. Let me put this on the screen real quickly about resilience. Resilience is the human ability to adapt in the face of tragedy, trauma, adversity, hardship, and ongoing significant life stressors. Resilience, the human ability to adapt, okay, in the face of tragedy, trauma, adversity, hardship, and ongoing significant life stressors. It's the human ability to adapt. And I believe you have been created with that ability to adapt. You can adapt to the changes, to the adversities in your life. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Some things are going to be tougher than others. But the faster, man, you can bounce back. I want you to have that bounce back factor in you. The faster you can bounce back from adversity, man, the faster you can start moving forward and become the person that this new season, that this new assignment requires of you. Remember, why not me? Why not now? And why not through this? Grow through all of this. Remember, change is the breeding ground for growth. Change is constant. That means change is also a part of life, just like adversity and all those things are a part of life. Somebody outside tooting their horn. But just remember, they're all part of life. And so therefore, you have the ability to develop that resilience, that adaptability to all the things that's happening around you so that you can become, my definition for success is this, I'm getting off here, is becoming better to get today than I was yesterday, so that the better version of me today can help me become the person or the version or the person that's required of me for my tomorrow. What's required of you in this season of your life? What does this season of your life require of you? What version of you does this season of your life require? Even in the midst of your mistakes, you can still grow. You can still move forward. You can still develop. Love you. God bless you. Until next time, remember, starting July 1st, I got some special guests that's going to come in here. The room's going to get bigger. And we're going to grow together. And we're going to change from the inside out together. Okay? God bless you.